who can beat the bottom two of Legend Group. They are more than just a team who can farm wins of KT and Nongshim. And even if they don't win against T1, getting a game at least makes a statement.
Yeah, we want to see them actually play to the level of T1. That's what we need. Even if they don't necessarily win, grab some leads, you know, do something with it. As we are into the draft here, I think this is going to be very important for making sure that these lane matchups do work out here for HLE on their side. They're going to be banning the Nico and the Aurora first up as the Pantheon Azir take the bench.
We've seen a lot of games against T1 where their game one draft, it just feels like they kind of get everything they want. We've seen them with things like the Varus, the Jhin, the Bards, you know, things like Jarvan, Ori. It just feels like teams have struggled to really keep a dampener on the picks that T1 are able to utilize. So we'll see how HLE look to approach this. I think them being on the blue side is definitely a big edge, a big advantage in this situation. They do ban away the Gwen,
So we're trading Yunara for Varus, or we're banning one of them and HLE gets the other. That's the story here.
Yeah, we saw obviously earlier today, you know, Yunara left open Varus in return. It didn't work out.
The Yone is going to be banned.
Yuma Varus is...
I'm going to ride in Yunara here.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to. I think leaving it over the red side is so dangerous.
And I'm going to write Varus in for T1. And then we'll see what Oner does. Maybe I write in Wukong? What do you think? Oh, this would be insanity!
They take the Varus instead.
All right, I'm going to put a big arrow swapping them on my little draft sheet here that I have for memory's sake. Wow, that is not what I was expecting.
It's a bold move, so they're clearly thinking, look, we can keep a check on the Yunara, we can shut it down. We haven't really seen too many teams be able to do that. The pick's been very successful, but again, it's rare to see a draft where both Varus and Yunara are open. We did see it earlier, but Wukong Orianna is such a potent combo, and they know that, you know, with AD carry already taken, they don't have to prioritize the Yunara. Wukong Orianna, Faker's Orianna has been fantastic. Wukong being one of the most successful picks on the patch. It's a devastating combo to play into as an immobile AD carry. And as much as Varus considered a range super far away, there's still so much potential threat with this combo.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. The Xin Zhao, a consideration here. Means that Vi threat is out of the way. We'll see whether that is enough to give Gumayusi an angle towards the Yunara. We remember when she was released, Gumayusi did say that Yunara stands for Gumayusi.
Yeah.
He was pretty confident, but we've seen it pretty banned against him.
I do really like the Wukong take, though, especially Pina has played this so much. 6 games already. His next most, he's played Xin 2 times, so they've really lent on this. We do see the Galio come in for Zeka, so a pick where you will kind of get bullied out in the early levels by the Orianna, but you have that global pressure, and you definitely want to sync this up with an engaged support, which, you know, won't be too much of a surprise for Delight, but it seems unlikely that T1 will let him get his hands on things like the Alistar, like the Rakan, and actually T1 not even opting to pick up the Yunara in this situation, so just saying, look,
I think the Ambassador is such a big deal for Doran as well. He's been so good at this champion.
He's been phenomenal on it. They're putting a lot of priority towards the top side, but they're clearly saying, look, Yunara might get bullied out in lane against the Varus. We don't think we need to prioritize it. We're instead going to give a great top lane matchup to Doran, and now they can target top lane picks in return. But to be fair, maybe just looking towards the supports as well, things that Delight might want to get his hands on. I feel like HLE, though, as much as you picked that Varus to be able to answer the Yunara, it definitely feels less painful just to take it away, but there's still Civ is often picked into the Varus. Jhin is also something that Guma's very comfortable on. You could definitely look towards that.
I would definitely ban Jhin, 100%. I think that needs to be taken away. Guma has been so good at that pick. And we'll see what HLE are going to be banning here. The Jhin is coming out first, and I think this is the question mark ban. Like, do you decide to take away the Rakan, which Rakan Wukong needs no introduction, especially when there's an Orianna there as well. It gives double good ball carrier.
But also Poppy's being banned. It feels like T1 are kind of saying, like, you're going to have to ban the Rakan as much as you want to play it.
And then Alistar is up, right? There's too many picks.
Yeah. It feels kind of uncomfortable.
But maybe they want Keria to have counterpick as well, so maybe they are not necessarily as focused on that. The Renekton is going to be the last ban, though. I think if they did want Keria to have counterpick, it would have been a Rakan or an Alistar ban. So those didn't get through. And the Renekton is going to be the option here. So Zeus not going to be playing a Crocodile.
I think it's just so uncomfortable because if you ban Rakan here, they just take Alistar. If you don't ban Rakan Wukong is so hard to play against. They do end up banning the Yunara, so
Oh, but
I'll have to deal with that, but
no,
Keria could just go for his bot. I mean,
I think Rakan is just way too strong in this position, isn't it? Oh, never mind. It's going to be the Bard.
so they opt for the bot in this situation. I mean, Keria is phenomenal at this point,
Yes.
don't get me wrong. I think for a lot of teams, the Rakan would have been a no-brainer, but this is definitely Keria going to a pick that he has shown just phenomenal proficiency on. And now, Delight considering his options. They don't know the AD carry pick that's going to come through. Varus is obviously typically a strong laner, but Rakan into Bard is going to be a matchup where you have a bit less pressure. Do you still go for it? I feel like Rakan, you can navigate things a bit better than if you went Alistar.
Oh, the Jax is going to be the first consideration, though. This was actually banned in our last series when an Mbessa was locked in. Was considered a decent pick into it, but we haven't really seen very much of it. More recently, it's been dominated by the Gwen, Aurora, Rumbles of the world. And Rumble was still up, but just not elected for here by Zeus.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely need an engage pick here for Delight, and you're going to have to just accept that the lane might be a little bit tougher. Looks like he's going to lean towards the Rel instead.
Okay.
So, again, I feel like Delight has a lot of proficiency across these picks, but maybe just feels like this one poses a bit more early threat in comparison. And it does seem like we get that Sivir often picked into the Varus. That spell shield a lot of value. Does have that movement speed to kind of sync up with the Wukong and offer that engage threat. One thing this does mean as well, they didn't end up
here turning up at Lowell Park to witness what could be an historic match. All right, almost blew up my eardrums. Thank you very much, T1 fans. That was very, very loud. And this is a different UI, which is kind of cool. It's kind of good to go back in time sometimes, you know, and to remember what the spectator client looked like.
doing a little bit of history, you know?
Yeah, it is all about the history. And we are now, it's present time in the series as well, which is pretty cool. It was in the future. Now it's, no, I'm not going to do it. I said I wasn't going to do it, and now I'm doing it to myself. What am I doing?
You're going to confuse yourself.
Yeah, it's not. And we're right at the beginning of the series as well. And this is a really important one. Faker and Oner will be able to take down the first ward of the game.
Yep, nice clear.
Nice #1 in the CS column there for Faker to start things off.
I really want to see what Peanut and Zeka can do, because Xin Zhao, Galio, strong mid jungle, really strong early. I feel like Oner and Faker kind of need their ults for a bit more pressure in the mid jungle. Obviously, Zeka's going to be a bit on the back foot just because of prio, but in the skirmishes, I think the Xin Zhao, Galio are really strong from like level 3.
Yep.
And we've seen these two players struggle a bit, but if they can start making impact the side lanes, that's where we can really see HLE find favor.
All right. So far, Delight trying to step up, see what he can do against Keria here. Does miss the Cosmic Binding. Might give HLE a way back into this one, as Viper is doing a good job keeping up the pressure as best he can, finding these hails of arrows. And Gumayusi already relatively softened up. Of course, you're going to have a range disadvantage as the Sivir, but that Cosmic Binding was pretty good. Nice knock up onto Keria there as the tempo heals come out from both of these supports. And Guma and Keria getting aggressive. Both, the Ghost and the Barrier both used here as well. No flashes just yet, but that's all they've got left.
Yeah, and this is the thing with playing into double ranged as ranged melee. You know, Delight didn't quite connect on a Guma, was looking for that angle, but a good sidestep away, and the end result is Keria Guma just kind of run Viper down. The only kind of consolation prize is because Guma has Ghost, Viper has Barrier, it doesn't end up quite as badly, but Keria's already putting down the shrines to heal up his AD carry.
Yep. Zeus going in here, looking for the counter-strike, connects it on to Doran. Doran, of course, a bit of a Jax aficionado himself, so pretty aware of how this matchup goes, of course. Zeka finding a bit of a knock-up onto Faker. Taunt is going to connect there as well, but this Galio is not going to be winning this lane,
no.
You could say.
Good setup for ganks, but the problem is, it's really, you know, sometimes we see situations like the support comes up, the jungler's there, you get the 3-man ganks. I feel like this is something that T1 often do, but if you're going to get ganks from your support, you kind of need some freedom in the bot lane, and right now, a lot of pressure. Pressure mid, pressure bot. It's only really Zeus with pressure in his lane right now.
Yep. But he is using that pretty well. As you can see, 5 CS in the lead for the Jax. We'll have to keep our eye on it. As going for a bit of a lane gank here, as there's the magical journey set up for Keria. Creates some distance as Viper already relatively low. As Peanut in position, but Oner is going to come on down. And T1 just pushed them away and deny them any entry. Good position there from Oner to make sure that there was no avenue in for Peanut.
Yeah, importantly, Keria got the magical journey down before the engage came in, and actually Peanut didn't connect the Wind Become Lightning initially there onto the Bard, so managed to slide through and get away. The follow-up wasn't there. We can see Legend Group 7-0 on the Bard. 4 of those from Keria, but Duro and Delight also having fantastic games on it.
Yeah, the Wukong also having a pretty good time as well, and this is every group, not just the Legend group. So HLE having a rough time here towards this bottom side of the map. Viper even missing that CS before they do elect to go for a little bit of a lane swap, I would assume, as Zeus is holding on to this one. Doran going to be moving back just to try and get it into a better position. And of course, Zeus doesn't exactly have the most gigantic health bar. The Peanut is coming in. There's a leap strike, and Doran not going to be able to dash his way out of that one. Into the brush goes Zeus, and Doran should be going down here. Wind Becomes Lightning, though. He's going to miss. And Doran's flash works out so well. Zeus now could be the one in trouble as Oner goes in, and they really want to repair this wave. And Zeus gonna have to back away. Oh man, I thought we were gonna have a first blood in either of those lanes. We're still waiting.
Yep, great cover there from Oner, and Doran just doing it basically as well as he can to mitigate that play. You know, Peanut not having the flash available, not able to follow up immediately on that is a bit of a difference. Oh, Zeka does have the phase rush, so he's not gonna be in any trouble.
Yep, he'll be all right. Control ward does go down here in Peanut's jungle.
But now the swap that comes through isn't quite as good as what HLE had hoped for as a result of that. And we have Viper at a bit of a deficit compared to Guma. We do have pretty even in terms of Doran and Zeus, but all things considered, Zeus was the one with the fresh advantage. He's only 2 farm down, but not ahead.
Yeah,
we do have that deficit in the bot lane.
They're looking to keep this swap going as well. Doran is just walking back towards his top lane, did have the teleport available, but the waves were just meeting. And so he is able to just walk his way back. So teleport advantage over here for T1. And now Viper out of that lane that was a little bit of a difficulty as Delight is going to move in. Finds his former top laner trying to have fun and says that he's not allowed to do that. But still, Doran is going to be standing his ground. We'll be able to pick up some of the farm. Keria moving towards his top side. And it is going to be that swap coming in. Yeah, this is a little bit of a scary situation, but they do have this control ward down here. Gumayusi is going to show himself. They really want this cannon, but they're only going to get the experience. And I think that makes sense. 3 versus 2 wasn't looking great. And there can still be a teleport back here from Doran. Keria can just take this magical journey to get himself out, so he'll be fine. Boomerang Blade is going to connect. Gold entirely even between the two teams. No one really finding headway just yet. Does feel like the tempo vibes are in T1's favor, though, you know?
Yeah, it does feel tense. And the thing is, the gold may be even overall, but that Sivir getting this much of an advantage already with the call in pocket doesn't feel too great.
And I also love the mystery UI as well. We don't necessarily know how much the lead is. It's all right, Faker, will he get taunted? He does. But too close to the turret. Zeus not wanting to go for anything. Phase Rush getting the Galio out. Flash has to be invested here by Keria as he gets the 2-man ult. There's the magical journey as well. Immediate flash from Viper gets him out of there, and now Peanut looking for an angle. It could be Keria that they can jump towards because he doesn't have his flash, the heroic entrance to deliver the Galio, and there's first blood over to Viper. The angry orange coming out there as well as it does come in. Justice Punch going to connect as well as the Cyclone has to be invested here by the Wukong. And the Orianna is just taking crockery in the mid lane. We'll be able to take that first plate as we can see there. But HLE get first blood. It's good news.
Yeah, good play from HLE overall, but it was a good amount invested to make that happen. And as you said, Fake will pick up a plate in return. Has a good CS advantage over Zeka right now. But ultimately, the Galio insurance kind of made sure the play was going to go in their favor. Keria just overstepping a little bit, was down the magical journey, was down the flash. Ends up getting punished as a result.
All right, Guma stepping up, and Viper is going to shoot him once.
Yeah, it was a little scary there, actually, because he'd been a spell shield and Viper had ult. I think maybe... I mean, he'd been his ability, so probably not the best time to look for it, but now looking for these grubs.
All right, let's see whether they can actually fight for this one.
Zeka's resetting, he's going to TP back in.
Yep, kind of an awkward position, but there's a very aggressive teleport. Still, the flash in from Delight to try and lock down Keria. Doesn't quite have anywhere to go. So he is going to be the sacrificial lamb. T1 did manage to take 2 of the grubs, though, so already they do secure the objective, but they do sacrifice Keria for it. And Doran, he's the one taking plates on this side. And T1 always just so good at giving something up in order to take something else, and that is why this gold is completely even still, even though the 2 kills have gone to HLE.
I feel like they're just so quick to just cut loose and say, you know what, Keria, you're the sacrifice, you disengage, it's fine. And they keep Doran pushing the side lane, he'll get those plates. They've already gotten the 2 grubs, so they've already gotten the prize they want from the play. They're happy to sacrifice their support in order to get an advantage for Doran. Now, though, looking for a play here. This is Faker coming in alone.
Yeah. We've seen teleports like this not go so well today, as there's the Magnustorm. Faker looking for the angle, but everyone shows up, and Delight's able to tank the turret. So that was not the teleport that he wanted. Maybe don't listen to Morgan next time when you get TP advice.
Yeah, definitely. You could see HLE setting up. There's Xin Zhao getting the knockup stacked up. Even with the flash, even with the ult. Not really working out too favorably. But we will see an answer from T1. You know, more plates taken down mid. Dragon being started on the bot side. Now, though, it feels like HLE finally get a bit more of a significant advantage because they've got some plates to the top side as well. Do have more for gold lead.
Yep.
We'll see if they can get in position. I don't think it'll be in time to answer this Dragon.
The light is going to move over. Peanut was thinking about stopping the Raptors, but I think that he is still just going to let this one go. Down to 7. No vision, so wasn't ever an issue here for T1. As another plate probably going to go down towards Gumayusi here. As we can see, there is a couple of caster creeps. But let's have a look at this teleport one more time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to do anything in this position because Peanut's got the knockup stacked up. The instant ult does go for the shockwave, but also Delight's the one who gets aggro, and he uses the crash down to disengage from the tower and get the shield.
Yeah, it was a pretty telegraphed type situation here, especially with how teleport works now. You can just see them coming in.
Yeah, the timing is very hard to mess up.
Yeah, you also don't really need to time it because Magnustorm just sticks around and it'll get you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, definitely want the initial yank.
Yeah, the initial yank is handy.
But, I mean, overall, it's still a lead for HLE, right? So it's still, I think they're pretty happy, but they're down in terms of 1 grub, and they're down in terms of the Dragons, so T1 have been managing to trade across when these things happen, but the game's still very close overall with how things have played out.
Certainly is. Now, some vision being swept out here by HLE. They want to try and hold on to the position that they have in this game. I think this top lane is going to be such an important place to look out for in this one, because Doran has been so good at making this Ambessa work, not only in the lane, but also in team fights. Oh, sidestep from Zeus there.
And that was Doran is so strong. This Eclipse spike on Ambessa is such a scary one to play around with. And in comparison, Zeus has, what, a Phage in plated steel cap, so...
And a cheeky longsword.
Yeah, he's not really too much of a threat in return.
Will be able to hold on to his own, though, in this lane, as we can see. Slight CS advantage for Zeus. So, certainly good news, but they are just leaking plates. This is pretty problematic, because if T1 are ever able to, you know, take that first tower and transition that to even more, could be problematic here, as Delight was looking for an angle, doesn't quite get it, but Zeus does manage to clear out this wave. Will finally be able to go back. We'll see whether he can actually afford the Trinity Force, as he has been in lane a long time, and Oner does have his, so I expect that Zeus should be pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Finishing boots sets you back a good amount. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Won't have it quite yet. He's going to TP top just to maintain the pressure. Won't have that available from that Dragon's up in 2.5 minutes.
Well, Gumayusi did want to take this away, and he does. Just steals it. The king of stealing stuff away from people.
Yeah.
Peanut could have pressed a smite, but decided he needed that.
It's one of those ones where, like, you know, if you get stolen on something like a Baron by an AD carry, that's kind of on you, because, like, you should be smiting that. But when it's like a Raptor camp, like, maybe you want to save smite for something, it just feels bad, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, really?
Well, Oner is in this brush, as Delight just delivers himself to Faker and Keria. He is going to have to crash his way out, as the shockwave doesn't collect the horse pants lady.
Yeah, just crash out of that one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Not a full crash out, though, thankfully.
Yeah, fortunately. But definitely Bit of threat there, bit of danger sensed when he went over that wall. But it's just a lot of poking and prodding from these two teams. Neither team really going too crazy with anything yet. We do have Dragon up in a minute and a half, which is likely going to be that next big pressure point.
It's the calm before the storm. You can feel it, right?
Yeah.
Certainly something going on here. As 4 creeps until the cull is going to be cashed in here for Gumayusi as well. As soon as that happens, I could imagine this gold lead is pretty much going to evaporate. And it will be this wave that he gets to take it down. There it goes. And so now there's, what, 400 gold in it? Not anything really to worry about here as Peanut on the crab. And we've got sort of a bit of a solo lanes in the side lanes type scenario here with the Galio manning the top side of the map. Of course, heroic entrance means that Zeka can be there a little bit earlier as they are trying to aim for a bit of a dragon angle, you could imagine.
It's Dragon and Herald up, so
yep.
They'll be deliberating between those two. You can see both teams trying to set up in the Dragon area. It's also Chemtech Dragon second, so good chance of a decent soul. Zeus is now going up towards top lane, where Doran's just pushed in. Remember, he doesn't have TP, so he kind of has to find a window to move wherever he wants to go. Well, Viper was definitely intending to miss, to bait the spell.
Yes, no, exactly.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, needed to make sure that Gumayusi didn't get any value out of the shield. It's very, very important to get close enough to almost hit, but not actually hit.
Yeah.
That's the next level play. Obviously, we're being a little facetious here. Zeka now moving himself towards his bottom side. Zeus picks up that wave like you were talking about. His Trinity Force is completed, though. It's going to be a big deal as the Rift Herald has been started up. Vision is there for T1, though. They will be able to come over and answer this. Delight will be able to clear out the Vision. Let's see whether T1 can actually make a play for this one. Tempered Fate is available. Keria can be pretty annoying as the teleport is going to be invested. Keria's taking a lot of damage, but he can do a lot of disruption from a long way away as all T1 are grouped up. On the hunt has been popped as Oner walks in, just steals their lunch money. That's a way to do it as the Winds of War come out, but a little bit late there is Zeka, unfortunately. And now T1, fancy a fight. They want to be able to pick up this eye. There's the Magnet Storm to try and pick up this Ambassador. She goes golden, though. The heroic entrance is mistimed, and Doran not even able to pick up the eye. It's Oner that's able to collect it there, but the Ambassador is going to go down. And now right into the Rift Herald immediately goes T1's jungler Zeus, keeping himself alive for such a long time as Keria down to 200 health, but there is the first turret going over to T1 as well.
And HLE cannot help but be frustrated with the outcome of that. Oner slinks in, steals it away. They try and force the fight after it, but I feel like the ult from the Bard just killed all the momentum in that fight. And even though they did get Doran in the end, I just don't think it really means anything.
Yeah, turret is going to be answered here by HLE, but first turret was already gone in favor of T1. Oh my goodness, T1 finding their way back into this one. Hasn't actually translated into a gold lead, but let's have a look at this again.
Is committed onto Doran here, because they don't end up getting a big AoE engage. They basically commit so much onto the top laner here. So it's Delight's ult that comes through with the stun. And then it's the follow-up from Viper's ult as well. The stun from Zeus, the ult from the Galio, all getting next to no value because the stasis that comes out from Keria and then the flash from Doran. And sure, does Doran go down? Yes. But it just completely kills the momentum of HLE in the fight. And the thing with HLE as well, they don't have that much sustained DPS, right? A very bursty composition with like the Poke Varus and the Galio. So once that momentum's gone, it's very hard to get back.
Let's check this one out from Oner again. He picks up the eye, immediately puts it down and gets in. And he was the one that was low, right? And so takes it for a drift. This drift was kind of sick as well, as you can see. Able to get on over, takes first turret.
I think it might have been Doran who put the eye down and he picked up afterwards, no?
I think Doran kind of dashed over the eye instead of actually picking it up. That's what I saw on my screen anyway. But I might be wrong. So never mind. Doran did pick it up.
Okay.
So he went back and got it.
Teamwork.
Yep. It looked a bit weird because the eye was like still there for a really long time after Doran got over the top. But at least he managed to get it out. So that's actually why. So I didn't see it get picked up because he immediately put it straight back down again.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, even the fact that HLE have this kill lead, I think T1 feeling pretty good. They broke the mid-tier 1, ahead in gold just slightly. I mean, it's still a close game, don't get me wrong. And HLE did get the Chemtech Dragon, so it's one apiece. It is Mountain Soul, definitely impactful one. I feel like even more so for T1, because again, burst decomposition from HLE, if T1 get that Mountain Soul, I feel like the poke from the Varus, the damage from the Galio feels so much less significant. But this game's been, we had that burst of action there, but a lot of poking and prodding otherwise.
Yep, and of course, you know, Viper's going to be happy about that. I'm interested in what's going to happen later on in this game, right? I feel like T1 have so many more threats, right?
Oh,
It's a 4-threat comp. Even Oner is going to be doing a lot of work later in this game. I feel like Xin Zhao is going to kind of fall off. But I think Zeus has a lot of longevity in this game. I think depending on what Zeka is going to build, he will also become more and more dangerous. As Chains of Corruption going to connect here on to Gumayusi. Tempered Fate is there to try and keep him alive, but now he's in a sticky situation. Redemption comes down though, and Peanut goes in! And I think he may have gone in a bit too far. Gumayusi just baiting them.
At this point, do you just permaban it, or do you just accept that you're losing game one? Because this bot is just
he's
so
too good.
Frustrating. It just feels like so many plays, so many attempts, so many picks are shut down. I mean, he just looked dead. And like Guma should have died there in 97% of different situations where you don't have a bard. And there, Keria just swoops in, saves him, gets his AD carry out, it gets turned around, Pina goes down. It's the dream scenario. And now Viper's in trouble.
He certainly is. Oner is just chasing him down here, but decides not to go into the Fog of War.
Just gives him a little whack and sends him on his way.
Yeah, he was very committed to giving him the whack, though. Zeka moving in, thinking about trying to go for Doran here. Does find the little mini taunt just for a bit of extra damage. Zeus finishes off the wave, though, and it is going to be all resetting just fine. 800 gold is the advantage for T1 at this stage, as we're going to check this one out from Keria's perspective. And the flash over as well.
Yeah, I mean, the timing's so good. It denies the burst. Again, bursty comp. You're playing a poke Varus. You land the ult. You're going to try and one-shot the target. And it just gets denied, shut down.
Yeah.
And I feel like if every fight, you're pumping your ult into a target who essentially has a free low cooldown zone.
Okay, well, Delight is going to look for it. Shattering Strike will connect there onto Faker. And I was very worried for Delight there, but Keria was also a bit surprised. And Arakan only get an orb thrown at him, but I don't think anyone really wants to commit to a start on this one. As this game, very intense. An Arakan throw could make it not very intense anymore. Okay, we're just going to start.
Let's just send it. Why not?
Yeah, well, I mean...
Guma is going to be late to this, by the way. But, I mean, I say late-ish.
It is going to be HLE moving away, and the information isn't quite there for what Guma is going to be doing as well, as Arakan just needs to reset. There he goes.
He was trying to kill the minions.
He was really angry with the minions. Well, Galio clears out mid lane. Zeus does the same thing here towards the bottom side. And Doran is moving in. A level down right now on the Ambessa, but 2 items already completed.
This is that delicate point where Dragon spawns, but Arakan's up, so it's kind of like, what do we do on the map?
Yeah.
You know? It becomes a little awkward trying to spread vision across this wide area and try to maintain and control vision. And there's also the danger that someone just... I mean, I don't think anyone's that quick to soul the dragon at the moment, but there is that threat. But if someone commits too heavily, you know, you could just give up Arakan. If you commit too heavily to the dragon, or you commit too heavily to Arakan, it gives over the other.
Well, right now you've got Zeus looking for a bit of a stun onto Doran. Does find it, but not going to be getting too much more than that. This Jax, as these items start to come in, though, is going to be pretty frightening in both the team fights and in the side lane. As HLE doing their very best to keep vision to a minimum here for T1. It's getting more and more difficult to hold on to their turrets, their wards, though, as Zeka thought that maybe they'd look for an angle here, but you're right, teleport does come in, brings Faker over.
They want to keep the pressure up right now.
Yeah, Magical Journey gets the bard out of there. Keria is just fine. 2 items completed for both 80 carries right now, but I feel like Gumayusis are a little bit more troublesome for HLE.
Yeah, not much attack speed, but the thing with the Civ is that you have the auto reset in the W, so if you auto W a target with those items and you crit, so much damage.
Shockwave going to get eaten by the Justice Punch, but still needs to flash to get himself out of there. We'll see whether he's actually going to be okay, as Oner not quite able to get the knock-up. The flash in, the full commit here from Peanut as he gets the knock-up. Justice Punch lands, and the taunt comes down. Down goes the monkey. And Zeka will be on the board now. 2-0-2 on the Galio. 2 items just complete.
Good punish there that comes out from HLE. A little bit of an overstep from T1, and the buffer from Zeka was super nice, but HLE need to get something from this. They just killed the jungler. They're heading over to Atacam, but notice Doran immediately TP'd up as soon as their jungler went down. They don't want to give this over for free.
Yeah, Faker is very low, though. They're lacking a couple of ultimates. One of them is on the monkey that is definitely not going to be showing up to this one. But yeah, they may not have Smite, but they've still got Gumayusi, so be careful, HLE. Redemption going to be keeping them healthy. Happens once again as there's a public execution. Connecting onto Viper, but he does get himself out of the way. Chains of Corruption are good. And into the backline goes Zeka. He finds the angle of Magnus Storm. Also fantastic. No one's dead just yet. Gumayusi takes the magical journey to get out, and the Shockwave denies Zeka. The Winds of War will come in, and finally the Orianna goes down. But Zeka may be in trade going down as well, and he does, and Oner turns up with a full health bar to tell HLE to get out of here. I don't know whether they're going to listen to him, though, as in they go, down goes the monkey. Gumayusi now in trouble as Zeus takes matters into his own hands, and it's his magical journey he's going to be taking as Keria gets the heck out of there, and HLE will take their prize.
Just when you think T1 are getting away with murder, escaping with such low HP, HLE managed to clean them up, win a decisive victory, and get the Atacam.
Oh my goodness, okay. Well, it wasn't an Atacam throw. It was just a team fight in the vicinity, okay? It's just fine. This start to the fight, though, from Doran, I really liked the angle, but it just didn't quite work out.
That turret being up meant he couldn't really follow deeper on a Viper. The CC that came in to peel as well was huge. Zeka got in, but just didn't quite have the damage to finish off these targets. And then he ends up overstepping to finish off Faker here. And Keria and Guma start to run him down. They know they have the backup from Oner. They're like, okay, we can chain this around. Oner's ready to go. And Zeus, level 15, was instrumental here. It just shows how much stronger he is than Oner right now, because when he jumps on him with this stun, he just destroys him. I didn't expect him to just wallop him that hard, and then takes out Guma and starts to move forwards. And you know what? It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen Zeus do stuff like this, but welcome back.
It is reminding us that this is what he's being capable of, and of course, it's no surprise for T1 because they kind of made him. And he now has those 2 terrifying items. Oner does have them as well, but there's a cheeky arm guard on top of it here for Zeus. This Jax has all of a sudden become the biggest deal for T1 to work out. As okay, Zeka could be in a little bit of trouble here as he's trying to get back towards this relatively low health turret. Does have that Justice Punch as the Cyclone does come in. Taunt not really helping out, and down he goes. Nothing they could do about it, but turret is going to still be secured on that bottom side, and Viper trying to get some work done here against Doran as well. Public Execution is going to connect onto this Varus, but he's just trying to kite it out. Double Redemption's coming in there as the Hail of Arrows is going to come on through as Faker finds the angle. Doran's so incredibly low. There is going to be the Shockwave connecting, and that's going to disintegrate the bottom lane. Zeus breaks the arm guard immediately. He's pretty healthy, and he gets on top of Guma. Takes him down before he goes out, but it's a double kill for the Sivir as well, and Peanut, he's not going to be winning this fight. T1 reigns supreme.
Just when you feel like HLE have control of the game, T1 answer back, a pick on a Zeka. HLE overcommit mid, the TP comes in, and they manage to find Viper, find the rest, and shut down HLE. Zeka overextended here, and even with the Justice Punch, you know, it's not an easy target to find a Galio with how tanky he is, but just wasn't quite able to get in turret range before he got the taunt off. Oner cleans him up, and then here, Viper stays up here. He thinks, I've got safety. Zeus is here, Delight is here, but the ult connects onto him from Doran. Great angle there, and Faker's coming in for the flank. So Viper kind of knows, I'm dead. I just have to try and kill Doran before I go down, which he does succeed with. Immediately falters.
And that's 700 gold over to Faker as well.
Yeah, and then it's Zeus in the middle of 4. And in fairness to Zeus, he does kill his old AD carry.
He does.
But, you know, it's not a good outcome at all. for the side of T1, and I think the only consolation prize is that by taking down Guma, it meant Baron didn't go down.
Yep, and also the Dragon didn't go down either.
Yeah.
Because T1 got a little bit distracted by that one. As we can see here, T1 with a slight gold lead, but it's like not even really a gold lead. It's kind of absurd how close this game is.
We said well, I said definitely coming into today.
Yep.
I wanted a close. I want HLE to show up and show they can compete with T1, and we are definitely getting that out of this game 1 at least.
The thing that we need is 6 games.
Oh yeah.
That's what we need today. And so HLE, they're required to win at least one of them, okay? They can win 2 as long as they let T1 have one back. That is just fine. That does mean that we would reach Peanut's milestone as well, which is pretty cool. He requires 3 games in order to get there. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves as this game is far from decided. As Peanut gets that Crescent Guard, he's going to be able to use that to keep himself alive. But that is a big ulti now on cooldown. They won't be able to utilize in the upcoming fight.
Yeah, and actually Peanut doesn't have any camps on this side of the map. So normally as a jungler, you just go clear your camps, heal up again. Does have red buff though, will give him a bit of sustain. And also can actually get some help off the ward.
Yep.
But
classic Xin Zhao stuff.
Yeah, Oner looking around. They're trying to establish TP coming in. They're committing to this Baron, by the way.
Yeah, this is some T1 Baron type stuff. As Delight gets a ward over the wall. I think that HLE are not going to be too surprised about this one, as the vision does come on through. Peanut is in the area as Chains of Corruption gets the flash out from Keria. Now Faker could be in a little bit of trouble. The ulti goes wide there from Doran as Zeka gets all in amongst it. Goes golden there as well as he pops the arm guard, but the shockwave is going to connect, takes down the Galio, but the 3-man stun from Zeus is huge. He does have his Zhonya's. The Tempered Fate is actually going to keep him in stasis for even longer, and Viper just can't finish off these targets. He does manage to land one of them as a pause. And Viper is the only... How do we unpause this ever?
Yeah, point where it's stronger.
Okay, here we are. We are back into it one more time. Viper is trying to get away, and I don't think he will actually escape, and he doesn't.
Hey, I said this would happen.
Yeah, that's I agreed with you. I thought that you were kind of onto something there, as T1 with some lower health bars. We're just going to be heading over towards the Baron. And we're going to check out the replay. I got a little bit confused there because the UI got a bit confused as well, but we're going to see this one once more.
So there's a double smite from T1 available, so that's why they felt comfortable starting this. A lot of damage is done up front, but again, thirsty comp, Zeka gets taken out, they're kiting backwards. Big stun comes out from Zeus, but it's just so hard to get the follow-up. Viper's trying to move forwards, has to kite back, does land a piercing arrow on Oner, but it gets them low, but he's not able to kill targets. And T1 are doing a fantastic job of kiting backwards every time. Every threat that comes close, Faker and Guma are almost in tandem with each other, just focusing them down.
Too many threats?
Yeah.
Everyone seems to do damage. Even the Meep slapping Bard.
And I think ultimately, just Oner and Doran are just a bit too hard to cut through right now.
And remember when this game was even? It's now 5,000 gold in the lead for T1, and Peanut is in all the trouble in the world. He doesn't have... Oh, he's able to audaciously charge towards the Gromp.
That was pretty audacious.
It was.
Didn't really change anything.
And in the meantime, 3 members of HLE are running away from a Wukong, from what I could see on the minimap. Zeus will be splitting towards this bottom side of the map, might be able to get a dent into this inner turret, but I imagine T1 should make quick work of this inner on top side as the smallest magical journey. It's not very magical, is it? It's just kind of an archway. But it looks very pretty because it's Keria's skin, so that's pretty cool. 2 turrets are going to go down, but this is going to be 3 for T1.
You can tell there's a gold bard main out there somewhere who's saying, look, Keria does it too.
I mean, some of the walls just aren't the same as the others, you know?
Yeah.
As this inhibitor is going to be taken.
I like to believe that he did it to prank Doran, because that is... that is the... He's like, Doran, go through here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Do you know what's really frustrating? This game was so close, and now it's over.
Yeah.
It's just done.
That is the kind of the T1 special. I think it was always a little bit on a timer for HLE.
Yeah.
And too much back and forth, and then just one huge loss ends up really pushing it in favor. And now T1 just really looking to close things out. I think someone needs to massively overstep if HLE want to
Well, Peanut, he might be the one doing that. Does have ult, so that is going to divide T1. Chains of Corruption is going to connect. That is a single-man shockwave here, and Peanut is pretty durable, but Zeka, not so much. And they just melt to the ricochet damage out of this 4.5k in the lead Sivir. And Viper having to deal with this monkey. It's a triple kill for Guma, who's going to make it a quadra. Keria steals it away. Adorable. We get the zoom in from Jonah Strong as well. And this was close until it absolutely wasn't, ladies and gentlemen. HLE gonna have to try better in game number 2. As just a little leap strike there from Zeus, as Guma is going to convince him to stay in his fountain. And I think he will do exactly that. The only gold lead here for HLE, but the gold advantages are just looking ridiculous. Zeus takes the magical journey. That was so cool. That was the highlight moment of this entire game for me. That was very, very cute. Zeus does go golden. The Nexus will go boom. And HLE are just going to have to try again in game number 2. Peanut, not going to do anything. There it goes. T1 get first blood in the series.